And check out the view from the CTV Skywatch camera just under an hour ago, kind of the last gasp of light there as we look out towards the east. 1 degree is where we're at right now, partly cloudy skies. We got down to -2 at midnight and kind of bounced around that number for a few hours, and then we hit 4 degrees at 3 p.m. this afternoon, and that was our daytime high, and now we're sliding back down the scale. Although the winds are out of the west at 20 kilometers per hour all over, you can see areas to the north already picking up that cooler air mass. We'll eventually have this further to the south as we get into Saturday. Jackie and I were talking about that shock to the system. You know, we've been used to these very mild temperatures. Daytime highs of -12 for the Lethbridge area on Saturday. What we are watching is still that push in, that flow out of the west-southwest, bands of precipitation making their way across. As we get closer to Saturday, these actually tighten and organize a little bit more. So the amount of precipitation, especially in the BC area, in the mid to high levels of the mountain areas, are going to have quite an impact as far as the snowpack goes. Quite a bit of precipitation expected there. Now, having said that, we are going to start to see some drift off from that as we get into tomorrow. But right now, you can see very quiet here as far as the radar goes. We're not seeing any of that push of precipitation from the west, but that will change as we get into probably mid-morning tomorrow. We'll start to see some flurry activity make its way into southern Alberta, and that'll be a hint of things to come as the temperatures slide with a push of cooler air from the north and then precipitation coming off from the west. So here you can see we've just got some isolated patches of clouds here, maybe the odd little pocket of precipitation that maybe didn't even make its way down to the surface because of the winds. Now, we do know that in northern BC, northern Alberta, northern Manitoba, they are getting some significant snowfalls in some areas, but here in the south, it's pretty hit or miss on this side of the Continental Divide. Not so to the west. They are already starting to see substantial snowfall in the higher elevations there. We'll start to see that make its drift off into southern Alberta tomorrow in the form of some flurry activity. As I said, probably about mid-morning is when that'll start. And then when we get into Saturday, some more concentrated amounts of precipitation will make its way across the mountains. But as I said, some areas will still just see flurries on Saturday, and some will see light snow. We've got heavy rainfall in St. John's right now at 7 degrees, and then we've got a mix of some flurries, some shower, some sunny breaks over the next couple of days as a low pressure center that's anchored in Hudson Bay drags a cold front in through with a little bit of precipitation attached to it. So it's going to really change the game plan there as far as consistency in weather. They're not going to really have any over the next few days. It's going to be a real mixed bag. -9 degrees in Winnipeg right now, sunny in Regina, -10, well, not right now, but it was sunny, -21 in Saskatoon, -17 in Edmonton, had a fair amount of sunshine there as well. Areas north of Edmonton seeing some snowfall. 2 degrees in Kelowna, 6 and cloudy in Vancouver. We've got some ice crystals right now in Whitehorse, -28, and we won't even get into what the wind chills are up there, much colder, and we've got some snowfall in Yellowknife right now. East Kootenay looking at flurries tonight, down to -6 degrees, 2 to 4 centimeters of snow expected tomorrow, -5 for a daytime high. Crow's Nest Pass, few clouds tonight, and then sun and cloud mix early in the day with flurries developing, -2 degrees for a daytime high for you tomorrow, and your winds will be out of the west. Medicine Hat looking at clear skies tonight, down to -12 tomorrow. Sun and cloud early, and then flurry activity starting to develop as the day progresses, -7 for a daytime high. Here in Lethbridge, we're looking at a few clouds tonight, -7 for a low. Tomorrow, as I said, mid-morning, expect to see that flurry development. So if we see any sunshine, it'll be early on, and then those flurries taking hold. And then as we get into Saturday, we're looking at, as I said, some areas in the Lethbridge region will be seeing some light snow. Some areas will just be seeing some flurry activity as it's a very disorganized system once it crosses the mountains. Then we've got sunshine, and we get back into a recovery mode and start to see the temperatures move back up as we head towards the beginning of the work week. Now, as the temperatures do dip and the food bank shelves become empty, here's a campaign that you can take part of. We Can Help End Hunger is a campaign to encourage canned food donations to help build a stockpile at local organizations.
Right after Christmas time, we have seen the majority of our support go out the door to the families who need it most. So come January, February, March, we really need the help from the community to restock the shelves to make sure that we have enough to go out to the families who will still need to eat after the Christmas season.
The Interfaith Food Bank is only one of several groups needing to store up reserve supplies to be used when Christmas is over.
Canned goods are particularly good to us because they are non-perishable. They store well on our shelves, they are uniform in size, which makes them easier to pack into hampers, and the shelf life of them is so good that people can use them for a long period of time. So if it's something that's been hanging around in your cupboard for a while, it's still okay to give it to the food bank because chances are that the food quality of that canned good is still just fine for us to distribute to the people who need it. there are so many different types of canned goods besides just your regular old tomato or chicken soup. And a lot of the things that we're starting to find too is that you can get a meal in a can where you're getting the protein, the vegetables, and the other vitamins that you need as well.
Canned food donations can be dropped off at CTV Lethbridge, at 98.1 CKVN Radio, or at the offices of the Lethbridge Herald. You can also donate directly to the organizations and groups listed here. Remember, we can help end hunger, but we need your help.
Dory's Story, sponsored by Langenberg Optical, voted Best of the Best for 2012.